Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another album review. My name is Christian Eschbach. Hey, everyone. We are in car again. You'll have to let me know. I've been kind of shifting around to different spots, doing different reviews in front of the record player here in the car, back down in my editing bay in my basement. Let me know where do you like the reviews best? Do you have a choice, preference? That's what the comment section's for. Let me know down in the comments. Anyways, Genesis. Probably gonna be the last Genesis album I record for a while. I can always go get more Genesis albums from Sean at any point to do, so that's not an issue. But I've really come to the conclusion when it comes to Genesis, I really tend to lean a little more towards a greatest hits fan so far. Okay, so 1991, We Can't Dance. This would be, I want to say, the last Genesis album. This is the last one I remember Genesis releasing, anyways. Complete new studio album kind of thing. I remember when it came out, my dad had this one, borrowed this one off of Sean. All right, let's get into this real quick. No Son of Mine. I think this is one of Genesis's best songs. I think it's a great song, very strong, very powerful. Absolutely love it. Jesus, He Knows Me. Okay, I like the message behind this one. I like what they do with it. I like how much fun they have with it. For an MTV generation and what they did with the video, I think is perfect. As a Genesis song, all right. Driving the Last Spike. This is one of those ones I really like while the album's playing, but I really like it when the album's playing. I really kind of get into it. But when the album's not playing, I really just don't think of it at all. The legendary I Can't Dance. This would be the song that got me into Genesis. I will be completely honest with you. The music video for this song was my true introduction to Genesis. And when I say my true introduction to Genesis, where I knew it was Genesis, it was not Phil Collins, and I wasn't mistaking Phil Collins for Genesis. I wasn't mistaking Genesis for Phil Collins. I knew I Can't Dance was Genesis, and I was able to say, okay, here's a spot to start with Genesis. And I still, to this day, like I Can't Dance. It's a great, fun song, and I really enjoy it. Never a Time. Another one. I really enjoy it while the album's playing, but I do not think of it while the album's not playing. Dreaming While You Sleep. I dig this one, man. Oh, Dreaming While You Sleep. So, No Son of Mine is still my favorite song on this album. But if you removed No Son of Mine, Dreaming While You Sleep might be up there, man. I really like that percussion they got going on there. It might not be percussion even. It might be keys doing a percussion-like sound. Not sure. They don't have those type of details here in the liner notes for the most part, just the lyrics. So I'm not sure what it sounds almost like tapping off of bottles. That's the best way I know how to describe it. But I absolutely love that rhythm that's going off of it, and the sound itself is just, oh, it's dreamy and beautiful. Hence the clever name, Dreaming While You Sleep. Tell Me Why. I enjoy it while the album's playing. It's one of those songs that's a decent tune, but I don't think of it if the album isn't playing. For the most part, it's not one I'd go out of my way to listen to. Living Forever is another one. Also, while the album's playing, I very much enjoy it. Not one I really go out of my way to listen to. Decent enough tune, like they're just. I'll get to this back at the end. Hold On My Heart. Okay. I've spent so much time making fun of this song. You gotta give that dog kind of like a a husky doing that kind of that little basset hound could theoretically work too. My old dog Lexi probably that's the joke I always make for the hold on my heart. That's kind of just how it always sounds. It always sounds almost non-audible. Hold on. Sorry guys. Anybody that likes that song, I understand why you like it. It is a very nice song. It's a wonderful little ballad. Just not my thing, so I tend to make a little fun of it. Way of the World, I don't mind. Since I Lost You, I don't mind. Fading Lights, I don't mind. The whole way around, I said it at the beginning, I'll say it again. I'm a greatest hits Genesis fan. I'm not a big, Dreaming While You Sleep would be, one of those ones where I could say, yeah, okay, that's a good deep album cut. But for the most part, most of this album is really it's kind of weird because I know that I've recently reviewed Duke. And my biggest complaint about Duke was how keyboard heavy it was. And this one still got some pretty heavy on the keyboards and whatnot. And it's not like the guitar jumps out at all. But there's something about the way the keyboards are on here and the way that this whole album's put together and mixed that it's a lot more enjoyable, but it feels like an 80s pop album to me for the most part. It really does. A really good 80s pop album, but an 80s pop album. I almost want to, there's a lot of it where I want to compare it actually to The Police. And all the good ways of The Police, just, up to, between a decade, 6 years to a decade later. Okay, I'm going to go into a little bit of a diatribe here. There's a reason why bands split up. And there are reasons why bands should split up. And there are reasons why some bands don't split up and it's bad for the band, really bad for the band. Genesis has had many incarnations over the years. By the end here, this was, the last three guys left kind of standing out at the very end. And you can hear it on this album, and even going through the other albums on the 80s. Like, if you go listen to their greatest hits album, which I've covered as well, you can really hear that the band it feels like the band was running out of steam. Like, they were really kind of getting into more of a commercial, poppy, mainstream format. Not to say that's the case with all of the albums or every song. Yes, there are other songs out there that are fantastic that did not make albums, stuff like that. I do not deny that, and I have heard a couple of them. I do not think of their names off the top of my head. I am sorry. But this album really, to me, it was a good album for Genesis to go out on. It allowed them to go out on top, and to me it showcases why a band should stop and break up. Genesis was not going to do anything new and exciting after this. I really don't think they do. And like I said, I don't think they ever released another album. If I am wrong, please correct me in the comments so I can go double check. But I am positive outside the Greatest Hits album, they had never released anything else. Maybe a live album that I'm not aware of. But I just really... You could see that they were done. And even after this, I know the guys after this went and did all solo projects and whatnot. No one ever... I know Phil had some popular stuff after this. But even then, his stuff after this was never to the same caliber as it was going through the 80s or whatnot. Like, it and you can't even say that it was video killed the radio star, because Genesis or even Phil Collins' videos were really good. And I really do think that there's a lot of artists that should have retired or should retire, or, There are quite a few artists out there who have released one too many albums that are just kind of whatever tunes they had laying around or whatever they wrote. You know, Ozzy's released one, maybe two, really good albums since No More Tears. But most of it was just filler and fluff that Ozzy really never needed to release. The Ordinary Man album is the only one I can think of that, you know, was true to form Ozzy beginning to end, really solid stuff. But other than that, you know, it's like one or two good songs. You know, I even love the Osmosis album, but I'll be the first one to admit that the Osmosis album really had some limitations. So I'm really kind of glad that Genesis decided to make this their last one in '91. You know, I think Genesis really was smart and they really kind of led the way. And I really think that there's a lot of musicians that really should have taken a page out of their book and they should have followed suit. I mean, I know there are some that did as well, but I think there's a lot of bands that, you know, as you can hear when I talk about Ozzy, I think Ozzy should have taken a break at least, at the bare minimum. Really should have put some stuff to the side. Worked on quality, not quantity. And it's really weird too, because after I've covered so much Black Sabbath recently, my opinions towards Sabbath in that time period, it's different because people would say Black Sabbath should have called us quits, but the Tony Martin era was fantastic. Okay. Let's bring this all back around again. Long diatribe. Sorry about that for everybody. Ultimately, would I recommend this album? If you are just getting into Genesis and you do not know where to start, this isn't a bad place to start. I'd still say go with the Greatest Hits album over this one, but this isn't a bad place to start. I really don't know how much more I want to explore Genesis or how long it's going to be before I do Genesis again. If you want me to do more Genesis, say so. That's what the comment section is for. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. All the way down in the comment sections, folks. In the comments, you're going to see a couple links in there that I've dropped in various different ways. Check those out. Otherwise, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the bell for notifications. Peace, love, take care.